Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another installment of the Fan Experience Podcast. Episode 40 is here.
40.
And you know what? It's been a wonderful 39 episodes to get to this point. I am your host, Mike Katos. Alongside me is my co-host, Rick Molina. Rick, how you feeling? Episode 40.
Episode 40, man. I'm pumped. This is a big one for us. We got the 40. I mean, who would have thought 6 months ago this thing would have started and we're already at 40 episodes? So I'm jacked. I'm excited. I'm ready to roll, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even 5 months into this thing.
Yeah, well, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Your math is better than mine.
But yeah, I mean, it's been a blast. We just come on here. We're talking about sports, talking to some amazing guests, and hearing their stories, and whether it's fan experiences or their experience in and around the sports industry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a lot of fun. But some big things going on.
And also want to thank our viewers and the people supporting us, family, friends, people on Instagram, and all the our guests have come on the show and been a part of it. We thank you for helping us get to number 40, and hopefully we have 140 or 1,040 more to go. So,
Yep, absolutely, and it is great, and if you can follow us on our social media channels that are listed at the bottom, that would be great. And retweet. We're live on Twitter. Go and retweet the feed right now, and share it with the people that all the sports fans that tell them about us. And as always, this show is brought to you by Playing the Field. Playing the Field is a sports fan community. We have an app out in beta right now with mobile apps to come. And the purpose of Playing the Field is to help sports fans connect with other sports fans, especially in a time where it's not that easy to go and mingle with anybody, whether it was for friends or dating. But Playing the Field makes it easier to do that. So go sign up for the beta right now, playthefielddating.com.
And find your mate.
So, we have basketball is, the training camps are going on, and, it's going to be starting in a few weeks. So it just ended. So it's kind
literally
of,
right.
It's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool at the same time. Because we're not used to something like this. Obviously, everything has not been the norm this year. Spoiler alert to everyone out there. But yeah, I mean, it just ended, but it's just about to start just again. And Rick, you can take it off.
Yeah, no, it's pretty exciting. It's usually the NBA season starts last week of October, first week of November,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the season really for basketball people really kicks off on Christmas Day, where you have the three big games.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, as a Knicks fan and a diehard Knicks fan, my team stinks, so they won't be on Christmas Day, because I remember as a kid watching those games against the Bulls and what have you on Christmas Day. But the season's starting early. You got a lot of excitement. A lot of trades have been going on. Obviously, the Russell Westbrook trade to the Wizards for John Wall, stunned a lot of people. You got obviously LeBron and AD signing their extensions with the Lakers, and right now you got to say the Lakers are the favorite to repeat again. LeBron obviously. But the only question is, will the bubble season sort of take its toll on teams like the Lakers, teams like the Heat, who are in the playoffs and made deep runs? Are they still going to have their legs come June, playing a 72-game season? Are they going to have their legs to sort of make a run and win? We'll see. I mean, LeBron is just a phenomenal athlete, keeps in tremendous shape, so we'll see where it goes. But I'm really excited about this season. As a Knicks fan, I'm excited. You got some young guys, Obi Toppin, who just got drafted, second season for RJ Barrett. Tom Thibodeau is the coach, so I'm excited to see these young guys because the NBA needs the Knicks, and New York needs the Knicks, and then obviously you got the Brooklyn Nets coming up with KD, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, with Steve Nash as the coach. They're talking about it's a collaboration. I mean, who knows what's going to happen there? Giannis, is he going to leave as a free agent? There's so many storylines to the NBA, and I'm excited and can't wait to see it start. And obviously you have Golden State, Clay getting hurt, so we'll see how that plays out. But I'm really excited for the season. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it certainly should be. It's a buzzkill that Knicks fans can't go and see the team. That's definitely going to be one of those teams that are not going to allow fans in the stands. but let's see how the rest of the league plays out, and
Mm-hmm.
and what's going to happen with the fans. But my estimation is it's not going to get back to normal until kickoff of the NFL season next year, as far as regular fan attendance. That's my prediction. All-star break type of type of time right there, but opening day of MLB, it's still going to be limited. That's my prediction on that.
I'm with you, but I think it might be a little sooner. I think we're talking. I think midsummer, towards the end of the summer, you're going to start seeing more and more fans in the stands. I think our life is going to start
like All-Star break.
I think our lives are going to start getting back normal again for the most part. Little by little, they're going to ease back into it with obviously great news on the vaccine front. But I think you're right. By the time Labor Day rolls around, I think there's going to be 70,000 people in NFL stadiums. NBA arenas are going to be packed again. We're going to start buzzing again. I think it's going to be great, and I'm with you. I think it won't be till Labor Day and that'll be great, especially for football season, baseball playoffs. I think it's going to be good. No more bubbles. I think that's going to be great.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that day to come. But right now it's safety first and foremost for everybody.
Absolutely.
So that's just the way it is.
I was going to ask you, what do you think it's going to be like in these arenas when they play? Because I don't think they're going to do the bubble anymore. They're going to play whether it's the Garden, whether it's the Staples Center in LA. These guys are going to play with no fans. You think that's going to be kind of like? That's going to be weird, man. I mean, the bubble was one thing, but
maybe they'll do the same thing that they did, in the bubble.
You think they'll put like the
maybe
they'll
like have
those fake fans up?
I mean, how much, how hard is it going to be? I mean, they put that up real quick in the bubble, so like I'm sure they can afford to, to erect something like that in the stands there. But I think every arena is going to be different. Some are probably going to allow fans.
Yeah, some states. So I think in Florida, you can do whatever you want.
Well, Florida wanted to fill Dolphin Stadium. I mean, it's just
they're like 70,000, no problem. Well, who cares?
Yeah. So, but like you said, Staples Center. LA might be a lot stricter. Like New York. But I mean, New York is getting hit hard right now with the second wave, and let's just hope this vaccine comes and hope it helps the cause a little bit.
Yeah.
And I got my mic stand falling down.
There you go.
Okay. So I mean, let's bring on our guest. We can get to the other news and notes after our guest. So now joining us is Aaron Eisman. He is a social media consultant and a new author.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going?
Aaron, how are you?
Thank you for joining us.
I'm doing well. It's been a busy week for me. I think a lot of people are trying to get the as much interviews as I can through the next 2 weeks before we get into holiday season. So keep me busy this week, but hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. So, we ask everyone, the first question pretty much, how did you get into the love of sports?
Yeah, the love of sports, I think started probably like 6-7 years old. I have an older brother. My dad was really into sports as well. It's the way we bonded. I'm from Los Angeles, so I'm wearing my Dodgers shirt, but I'm going.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much. So I remember going to Dodgers games growing up. I remember even they were the cheaper ticket and they were kind of the lovable losers, but the Clippers games more than Lakers games growing up, even though the Lakers was kind of the heyday with, growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s. But, going to sporting events, playing sports, those minor leagues, little leagues, anytime playing sports was always a fun time. Watching sports, guys like Vin Scully, growing up watching him, stuff like that. As well as reading about sports, I think, too. I consumed it, reading the LA Times every morning from 6th grade on, and reading guys like Bill Plaschke and TJ Simers and all these other guys. And then Colin Cowherd was a big deal growing up for me, 710 ESPN out here. So every morning was driving to school, my dad and I would listen to Colin Cowherd. And so it was just all encompassing, really. The love of sports started at an early age and continued to now working in sports.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I can definitely attest to that. And, again, congratulations to your Dodgers.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
Second Dodgers fan in a row.
Yeah.
I know you watched the episode on Tuesday with your former coworker, Ben over there. And, he was great. So you bonded over sports, which is, which is one of those things, sports is that natural unifier, and I say it, Rick says it, a lot of people feel that way. And, it just, there's nothing that can replace that. And, it's absolutely amazing. So you're a Broncos fan as well?
Yeah, I think you can see, that way. Broncos fan, randomly started, because in the late 90s, I guess I hopped on the bandwagon and I saw John Elway play as my first NFL game. Down when there was the San Diego Chargers, I watched John Elway, and I didn't really have a team at the time. The Bills were, my dad's from Buffalo. He's not so much a Bills fan until now with Josh Allen, but wasn't really a big Bills fan growing up. I saw a game when it was
those were some brutal years for the Bills, though.
Yeah, those late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, it was tough. I mean, obviously Tom Brady in the heyday, just taking over the whole league. But, the Broncos, I saw like John Elway in his heyday, winning championships. And then obviously, there we go.
There you go.
And then obviously kind of reminded me of like me a little bit with the hair slightly. Yeah. But I thought he could run the play action really well. And, he was a great person to watch. And I've followed them ever since now. So I watched him through the Jake Plummer years and Tim Tebow and Brian Greasy and a lot of other random quarterbacks along the way. But it's good to see us, win a title, and then now we're falling off a little bit. But
don't forget about the undrafted rookie wide receiver that quarterback.
Yeah,
this past week. How'd you feel about that?
I was surprised they didn't just have a tryouts in Denver and just said, "Did you play high school quarterback? We'll let you on the field because we'll sign you for $50,000." Because my dad and I were complaining about it. How do the Broncos play with no quarterback really? But then they let the Ravens and Steelers game go till Wednesday.
What I said. That's what I said.
It doesn't make sense to me. Let the guys get healthy and then bring them back. But who knows?
Money
talks.
All about money.
Yeah. I disagree with you guys, but go ahead. But Aaron, thanks for coming out. So but Bills fan, obviously the Music City Miracle. Those are some of the moments. But there is something that it got me curious. So you went to the Masters 3 years ago. Now, when you see Augusta National on television and obviously those spectacular moves, what is it like to be there? Like, give us a feel for like the aura and what it's like to walk Augusta National.
Yeah, it's as a golf fan, I grew up obviously watching Tiger Woods almost every tournament, even the non-Masters, non-majors. But and I've been to every major actually, and even the President's Cup twice. Never the Ryder Cup, but going to that sporting event is one of a kind. We walk around the course; it's absolutely perfect. The golf course. It's one of the hardest tickets to get, maybe other than the Super Bowl. So just getting there, making it somehow through one of my uncle's friends, getting on a Friday, it was just walking it. It's beautiful. You could smell like the fresh cut grass, and everyone's, there's a lot of young guys who drink these beers, and the beers are like $3-4. You see them stacking the cups of beer. So cheap there. I said to my uncle, if you get me there, I'll pay for all the food and drinks, because everything food and drinks is $20-30 for a whole day. Nice. So it's an amazing event. It's an amazing golf course in perfect condition. You watch the best golfers in the world within 20 feet from you, 30 feet from you. Yeah. And it's just an incredible experience. I'll never forget it.
That's incredible. So I want to get into social media and how you got started with it. When did you at first see like, hey, this is going to build to something, like this is going to be something? And when was the first sort of inklings that you said, man, I want to go into this part of the sports industry because I can see this going huge 5, 7, 10 years from now?
Yeah. I going to college 2009 at Indiana University. Okay. And I wanted to get the journalism degree. I loved reading guys like John Feinstein in the LA Times growing up. And a lot of it was, let me learn how to be a good writer. And maybe maybe I can make it in a newspaper one day. But over those 4 years, from 2009 2013, print journalism was going under really badly. But in 2009, I remember we were in this big classroom at Indiana. A teacher said to me, he said to the whole class of 400 people, he said, you guys got to watch out for Twitter. It's the future. It's microblogging. He knew this in 2009, and he said everyone needs to get a Twitter account. And so ever since 2009, I've had a Twitter account. I slowly started seeing it become more important. I wrote for the newspaper. More people was going from like live blogging to Twitter blogging, so to speak, tweeting, when it was only 140 characters back in the day. But it was starting to see that slowly shift. And then at the newspaper, it was like some of the writers were all starting to say, hey, check me out on Twitter, check me out on Facebook. I just posted on my link in bio on Instagram, whatever it may be. So through those 4 years, you started to slowly see a shift of social media becoming more than just talking to friends or just tweeting at random people. It's a more of a connection to the whole world, essentially. And I slowly where I made my entry into social media was at Turner Sports in Atlanta. I applied to a bunch of jobs all around the country, hoping I was going to land somewhere. I landed at Turner Sports, and I was part of that first sports social media team at Turner Sports to really launch NBA on TNT on social, NBA TV, as well as some other properties. So I slowly started as a career, maybe 2012, 2013, but then I took the plunge in 2014 after I graduated.
That's amazing. And I went to college in 2009, and none of my professors said you need to go on Twitter right now.
Yeah, ahead of its time.
And I was going for a web design degree, so you would think that would kind of play into it a little bit. And 2009 was like just the beginning of Facebook, right there too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got maybe my Facebook account sophomore, junior year, and it was cool to have Facebook before, because it was a cool thing, because everyone in college, you had to have a .edu email to get onto Facebook.
Yep.
But what was nice was I got on it eventually when they let other people with Gmail or Yahoo accounts back in the day get on it, and it went from Facebook like 2007, 2008 to Twitter. Jumping on that in 2009. So the movement slowly started with social media platforms then.
Yeah, and so you said you worked at Turner. You interned over at Bleacher Report before that, and then you went back to Bleacher Report, where I assume you met Ben during that stint over there. So talk to us about running the social media for Bleacher Report, which is obviously a very big name in the game right now.
Yeah, in 2012 when I first interned there, it was all about page views, listicle articles. I remember people writing stuff like why the Bobcats are going to win, 10 reasons why the Bobcats are going to win the title this year. Yeah. And it would be a random article, and people would just click on it and go slide by slide to see the reasons. So I was writing like Big Ten stuff back in the day in college, basketball and football. And then, I think when I took the job in 2015 after my stint at Turner Sports, they were still kind of into links and app downloads at the time. This shift started happening maybe late 2016, when they started to hire more people at Bleacher Report for social media specifically. Add more editors, more videographers, more content creators, more graphic designers, creative thinkers, people that can come up with viral ideas. That slowly started to shift, I think, 2016, 2017. And then I could talk about more in a bit, but they created this team called the Social Moments team, which sadly I wasn't a part of. I was on the social programming team. But Social Moments was the people that they sat down all day, and they would brainstorm ideas which would try to go viral on social media. So every now and then I'd try to stop in that room and see if I can throw an idea their way. But for the most part, it grew. Like from when I got hired, we have a team of about 3-4 people on social media, to nowadays it's probably in the 30 to 40 person range. So it's a really big department of its own, which is impressive to see. And I'm so excited that I was a small part of building some of these accounts, but now House of Highlights is turning into 20 million. I think Bleacher Report's got over 10 million on Instagram. So it's exciting to see where it's gone and where it's been from where I started there.
Yeah, I mean, you say here that you, in the 3 years that you were there, you published over 16,000 pieces of social media content.
That's incredible, man.
That is insane. I can't even fathom that type of number in 3 years.
A lot.
That's just, it's amazing. Obviously you did a great job because, Bleacher Report is, it's huge, and, you definitely helped on that. Rick, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, no, I mean, so how does do you guys, is it a team that just sits there and sort of scours, all these like events, sports, games, and looks for the right thing and puts it out there and kind of titles it? I mean, how does it, is that the way it kind of works with a group like yours?
Yeah. So the team that you'll see majority of the tweets and Facebook posts, Instagram posts is called the social programming team. That's the team I was on. We would sit next to app people. We'd sit next to the notifications guys. Those people, they're actually humans, not robots that would people don't realize that. And so we would see, sometimes they would send over, did you see like Woj just tweeted this trade just happened? And so we'd have to grab a photo from Getty, tweet it out to try to be the first one of the competition to get it out there. And then the second wave, the second post would eventually be the article linking back to our website or the app.
Right.
So back then, it was a lot of breaking news. It was a lot of posting feature stories from guys like Howard Beck. And I think Ben did a little bit of writing as well when he was at Bleacher Report. So I posted some of his stuff as well. There was eventually, I don't know when it started, but there was a group called BR Mag, which Ben might have talked about.
Yeah.
So we posted a lot of that on social media. I would be a part of those big feature meetings where we'd sit in a room and say, this is the best quote to put on social. This is a good thing to tag and tease the article a little bit. And then on top of that, we would do branded content, Old Spice, Nike, those types of brands would work with us. And then videos were a lot of big portion of what we'd push out. So social videos, maybe 2016, 2017 became a really big deal. 60-second videos, 30-second videos, whatever it may be. And then eventually user-generated content, the stuff that House of Highlights did was a big deal later on. So we have to post a lot, keep a lot of on top of things, but it's a constant communication via Slack saying who's posting next, what are you posting, what's the copy, stuff like that, and just constantly posting. Doesn't matter how often on Twitter, a lot of times on Twitter, a few times on Instagram a day, but pushing the Bleacher Report message as much as possible. And that's why I got so many posts over a period of time.
That's just incredible. And then you go to the NFL. Now, when you got to the NFL, did you have to start their social media? Like, was there social media behind? Like, did you have to literally build that from scratch for the most part?
So at the team at the time, maybe they were 1 year after actually dividing up channels. At first, it was just the NFL channel, everyone's social. Then about when I got there, maybe a year before, they started NFL Network social media channels. And they started the Check Down, which is like the funny, humorous channel that you see today. And shout out to a guy named CJ Toledano, who I'd recommend to have on this podcast. He helped get me the job at the NFL. He started the Check Down back in the day. And so there, I was in the year 2 of NFL Network social media channels. We really didn't have, it was mainly the account before would just grab things off of NFL Network, post it. Nothing original content creation, nothing really high level stuff. So me and another person, we would constantly be watching NFL Network. We'd watch the games. We'd post original content. I learned how to make, on Photoshop, learn how to make graphics, learn how to make, highlight videos, learn how to make, anything and everything to make original content seem cool. So on NFL Network, the Instagram page grew over 200,000 new followers within like a 7-8 month period.
Wow.
Not as much on Facebook or Twitter, but Instagram was a big success for us. And that's just because you got to post, you got to be different than the competition. You got to grab things off NFL Network, but then you also got to think of original ideas that's going to play well to the audience and really engage us. So each platform, each account has its own voice, but we wanted to help NFL Network become the cool channel, not just NBA TV, but NFL Network was trying to, compete with all the other brands and get people's attention on shows like GMFB, Good Morning Football.
Yep.
Kyle Brandt had a show at the time when I was there. I don't know if he still does, but he was great to work with. And there's a couple other TV shows that were not the Sunday TV shows that people wanted to get people to watch. So a promotion, original content, grabbing highlights, and also doing some cool things as much as possible on social.
Yeah. Well, we would. You mentioned CJ, and we would absolutely love an introduction and have him on the show. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know they're not affiliated with you, but you say about getting out there first and always getting that viral content. But do you pay attention to the NFL memes account?
I do, of course.
It's unbelievable.
So these are amazing. There's that never, maybe 2013, 2014, that wasn't a thing. Memes weren't a thing. GIFs weren't a thing.
Yeah.
These whole idea of like alternative media that was very simple to push out, but NBA memes, NFL memes, whatever it may be, it's we constantly keep an eye on that stuff, because if we miss something, then we know they probably had it, because they're on top of NFL just as much as we are, to be honest. So it's good to see an account like that thrive and do well. And I used to follow lots of accounts back in the day. Even when Vine was big for us at Turner Sports, I'd follow all these random Viners that were filming the NBA games off their phones, and they would post on Vine. So whoever it would be, NBA memes, NFL memes, these are channels that obviously NFL media people watch as much as possible. Now
they watch them, but so what are the rules when it comes to social media? Because obviously NFL owns all of their content. Like, they're the brand, so they can post up videos of everyone from every game, every highlight. So NFL memes, because it's public, they're allowed to use that and doctor it their own way, or is it like a gray area and they're just like, it's really good and it's bringing exposure to the NFL, and they just say, I know you don't know what's going on behind the scenes on that end, but just whatever you do know on that front.
Yeah, from what I do know, I've worked in the NBA with Turner Sports, not NBA, but NBA rights. Knowing what NBA does versus NFL is drastically different. The NBA will let anyone and everyone post highlights. That's where House of Highlights is now at 20 million followers.
Yeah.
Back then, Omar, when in 2015 he had 500,000 followers. He was posting stuff, all sorts of stuff from the internet that he'd find off games, off of everything. So NBA is very lenient towards the way, and maybe that's why it's NBA as a sport has grown so much, because social media has opened so many doors for a lot of random people that are just sitting there watching these games that most people aren't watching. So NBA is wide open with that. NFL is kind of the gatekeeper mentality. And what I mean by that is they don't want the people who aren't NFL rights to allow that stuff. For example, like, even ESPN and Fox and all these key players have to go through the NFL to ask for permission. They email over to the NFL social media team, can I use that highlight on, that play? Versus the NBA, Turner Sports,
wow.
we can rip anything from NBA games on any channel we want and post it, because they're paying billions of dollars for these rights. But on the other side, a Fox, an ESPN social media person would email someone from the NFL social media, can we post this? Not can they just rip it and post it like they do with the NBA. So there's a divide there, the way they treat this. I don't know from a higher level how it works in terms of a moderation team and stuff like that. But obviously they don't want people going viral off of their footage.
Yeah, no, of course.
I mean, that's billions and billions of dollars in social media.
And who's probably stricter with it all is MLB. Like they're very tight knit, and that's why MLB is struggling, because they're not allowing people to go out there and share their content. And that's but I'm a Mets fan, and I love the fact that this new owner is just out there on Twitter every single day, even asking fans, who do you want me to sign? Like that's just
amazing.
It's amazing, because now the Mets are gaining more popularity. Trevor May said he signed because of Steve Cohen.
Exactly. No,
he's like, I just love what he's doing. I love that, that he's out there and he's engaging. He's, the culture that he's bringing in. He said it was a no-brainer, and I wanted to sign there. They just had a press conference today. over Zoom or whatever. But it's just,
that's
that's what
happen.
it's about. Like, you have to go with the times that you're given. Baseball might be a sport from the 1800s, but you can't like market it the same way that you did then.
Most 18 to 20-year-olds probably can't name, more than one owner in the NBA, but they can name Mark Cuban most of the time.
Right.
Oh yeah.
He's a personality. He's on Shark Tank. He's on the court during games. He's out there as much as possible. But like, you've got to, if you start to open up and have a personality as an organization, you'll see the players starting to buy in. You'll see the fans start to buy in more. Even if you're losing, it still shows you some faith and some hope that, our guys are going to be at least stick by us, and they're going to, have the team values, but also they're going to have a voice and a personality as well, which you can shine on social media for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And did you have, when you were doing this content, like, did all of a sudden players start reaching out to you and teams and saying, hey, put this up? Why'd you put that up? Like, were people starting to try to have some input in your social media work?
Yeah, when they say slide in the DMs, before that was a term, that was the real thing.
Is that what it was? All right, yeah.
Before it was Instagram models, it was happening in sports media a lot of the time. Yeah. I think players, I can't name them, but they would get upset if like House Highlights would post like a technical or them throwing the ball at somebody. Wow. They would DM them after the game saying, "I saw what you posted. Like, I don't like you anymore." Stuff like that. Hey, that's, I could see what they're saying, but when that video gets posted and it goes viral and it gets seen by 100,000 people, I know there was even one moment, I can't remember it. It might have been like J.R. Smith or somebody along that nature who got posted on House of Highlights, and the next thing you know, he's getting fined by it because the NBA didn't see it. He hit someone's drink or did something, and the next thing you know, he's getting fined by it. And then whoever the player was, maybe it was J.R. Smith or somebody, I can't remember, then messages Omar at House of Highlights and saying like, "Why'd you post this? I just got fined." So it's closer than you think. Actually, a lot of these players are on social media as much as possible, especially Instagram.
Yeah, and social media, obviously, in today's world with the athletes is huge. I mean, they have their own brands. Do these athletes reach out to you? Just say, "Hey, can you help me with this? Can you give me some advice on that?" I mean, do you get a lot of that? Through your travels there?
Yeah. So I started my own business after I finished with the NFL, social media consulting business called Eisman Digital. And what I did was, my whole purpose was try to figure out what athletes are doing right and wrong on social media, how I can help them understand social media. It's education first and foremost. It's understanding it's more than just posting. It's having a voice. It's content creation. It's analytics. And there's a lot to social media that people don't realize that the athlete doesn't even know about. And they don't get educated in college about this at all, sadly to say. And some in the sports agencies, they don't educate them at all either. They just say, you know what? It's your voice. It's your platform. Do whatever you want with social media. They don't help them as much. So I've kind of come in and I've helped a couple of NBA agencies out. One of them being Life Sports Agency, who's run by this agent named Todd Ramasar. And he used to play for UCLA in the late 90s. If you watch UCLA basketball with Baron Davis, but he was part of those teams. And he has clients like Pascal Siakam, Kayvon Looney, Thomas Bryant, and a few other guys. And so I'll run social media for the agency overall. But if the player has a question about like, what could I be doing more of on social media, I'll go analytics breakdowns on them. I'll go strategy. We'll do a special piece of content that I can create for themselves using some of my freelancers that I know of. So whatever they need, I'm here to help them. But what I found out really early on was the high level agencies, the CAA, BDA Sports, XL Sports, Priority Sports, all those guys, they do have a couple social media people on staff. But the small to mid-tier agencies, whether you're NBA, NFL, baseball, whatever it may be, they don't have people that do social media on staff. There might be a PR person that says, I think you could be doing this or that, public relations person, or a marketing person that says, maybe do this or that. But there's no people that know social media like I do, or like someone else who's been, raised in social media to really give them tips and advice. So that's what I'm here to help them out with. And the agencies will help me and say, what can you do with our guys? And I'll give them some thoughts and feedback, especially It's big with the season coming up. A lot of players that I work with are wondering how to get started on social media, how to get going during this next season.
Yeah. Did you have
no, I was
a
just going to say,
question?
I didn't realize that there was analytics involved in social media. I was just,
It's a big deal. I preach this whole thing, content is king, which Bill Gates wrote about in 1996, a whole essay on it. It's fascinating. He was before his time, obviously being a genius. And then analytics are queen. Analytics, you need to know analytics well to be growing on social media these days. And if you don't have an analytics staff member on any of your companies, you're kind of falling behind on that sense.
Yeah, I mean, we just for playing the field and for the podcast, I just signed up for Hootsuite to to try and automate a couple of things and have those a little bit of analytics going in. But as a lean startup, we're just trying to do what we can until we can ramp it up just a little bit more. So we need everyone out there to go and join playing the field.
Field. Yeah.
But how about you? So you mentioned your own digital consultancy. For everyone out there, the link is in our description for this feed. So please go and check out eismandigital.com. And so tell us a little bit about like the sports and how to. I know that there's some channels like a Twitter. It's good to post on certain times or certain days, and how much of that plays into it, and how many of the different hashtags along the channels that you have to pay attention to.
Yeah, you've got to. What I've learned over the years is you've got to, be a part of what the algorithm is. Every platform has a different algorithm. Facebook used to be about links, and people would post links like crazy. Now it might be more about ads and branded content. But overall, it's hashtag usage is very important for certain platforms. Twitter and Instagram are very big on it. Even TikTok these days, if you can make the For You page, that's a big deal because of your hashtag usage. So that's that's important on certain platforms. Time of day, I've talked to people about it. Some people are on the fence about it. Some people are pro. Let's post in the morning. Let's post in the evening. So there's some sort of case studies around. Let's post before someone goes to work, and then after someone gets home, and then maybe lunch break as well, depending on what time zone you're playing in. Those kind of 3 time slots are good. But at the end of the day, it's be a part of the conversation as much as possible. Twitter is great with that. NBA Twitter has its own community, really. So if there's a big game on, Lakers Clippers are going to be on, opening night, as well as Nets Warriors. Be a part of that conversation on Twitter. You can use the game hashtag. Obviously, that's a way to get involved. Use hashtag NBA Twitter in every tweet you do talking about that game. So that's very important, relevant to join the conversation and to reply to people. Some people use it to troll people. That's whatever. That goes, I don't like trolls, but that happens too. But be a part of the conversation as much as possible. Twitter is the place to be when it comes to NBA, NFL, and sports in general. Real-time conversation. But other platforms, it just depends. Good content is good content. Quality content is always going to work well on any platform, and people engage with it and see that. Positivity always works. Authenticity. These themes that you'll see across the board are going to work on any platform. So Twitter, you want to be a part of the conversation, but at the end of the day, you can have a posting schedule that might make sense for you. Don't overpost and don't underpost, but know each platform how often you're going to post. It could be once a week on YouTube, but 3 times a week on Instagram. It could be once or twice a week on Facebook, but 10 times a week on Twitter. So it all just depends on the frequency, how often you're doing it, and the times of day sometimes matter, but hashtags I think are more important to what I do.
Okay. Like Twitter, is it, will the text-based work better, or should you sprinkle in some like image ones and GIFs and stuff? Like, what seems to work better on Twitter?
Yeah, sprinkle in a GIF. I mean, honestly, I like to reply to someone maybe with a little bit of text, but then a GIF as well, just because it's like it's fun to do. And as long as you're not, I know to my point of view, if you're not trolling, but you're having fun and being a part of the conversation, that's what it's all about, on social media. I think you've got to realize that, we're all here to just have fun at the end of the day, whether it's your personal or professional social media channel. As long as you're having fun and enjoying what you're doing, then that's what's most important about social media. So I love doing a GIF every now and then. A text tweet could work if you're using the right hashtags. It could play well. But replying to things, quote tweeting things, these days are important to how you evolve your Twitter social media. But as much as possible, you want to check what's trending at the time and be a part of that conversation. It could be the Grammys. It could be the, could be some recent event like LeBron James getting $85 million, whatever it may be. Or, you want to be a part of the conversation. You want to have a unique reaction to it on social media. Don't just think of, wow, like, good job, LeBron. Like, think about things in terms of, he might be playing with Bronny one day, because of this 2-year extension. But think about it in different ways that add to the conversation. Don't distract the conversation from the conversation, I would say.
Okay, perfect. So obviously, very, very in tune with the social media game. And now you are in the process of writing your own book.
Yes, thank you very much.
What was it? The golden era of
sports social media.
Sports social media. So talk to us about, why you decided to go and write a book. And
I've had this passion for writing for a long time. As I said, reading the LA Times, John Feinstein, doing journalism school at Indiana, things like that, all grew my passion for writing. And I guess my writing kind of changed, obviously, social media, less words over a period of time. But it's still writing at the end of the day. And so my passion for writing has continued to where I want to write my first book about sports social media. I checked the internet, and not many people are writing about sports social media. Maybe social media books, of course, self-help books, whatever it may be. Affiliate marketing books and new internet marketing books, stuff like that might be coming out. A lot of those types of books, but I didn't see much on sports social media. And what makes it different is there's been an era these last 10 years, I would say, where it's ramped up to where teams have to hire. It went from PR and marketing people running social media to teams hiring young people to run social, and it's just their job is to scour Twitter all day or look for viral videos or think about what the organization wants to post, if it's a big deal. So what I'm doing is I'm breaking it down into a couple different categories. One, I'm interviewing a lot of people on the team side of social media. I interviewed someone today who was with the Jets and the XFL, and a few other NFL organizations as well. I interviewed a professional volleyball player today as well, who's a content creator himself. An amazing person who, is bringing up the game of volleyball, beach volleyball, to a certain extent. And then I'm interviewing people on the media side as well, people who have worked at Turner Sports, ESPN, Bleacher Report, How's the Highlights, anywhere, you name it. I've interviewed them. I've done about 20 interviews so far. And then the third thing is going to be on the athlete side. That's where, when I talk to a lot of people, they say that's where the future of sports social media is athlete social media. Guys like JaVale McGee, Matisse Thybulle, I think, how to pronounce it, on the 76ers. Yeah. Guys like that who are taking advantage of the bubble or of content creation, those guys are going to succeed off the court. Is going to be interesting to see how they play. But it's mainly the things that I'm mentioning has been talking to media people, talking to team people or professional league people, as well as talking to the athletes, in terms of sports social media and the way it's impacting people's lives. I think a lot of things have to deal with content. Analytics, Rick, is a big deal.
Yeah, so I'm hooked on that, man.
I'm going to do a whole chapter or two on analytics. You're going to see stuff on that. Strategy is a big deal on each platform. So what the future of sports social media is looking like. Some people say TikTok. So I got to do some research on TikTok. Yeah. So there's going to be a really in-depth research on where it's been, the early days of Facebook, MySpace, AOL Instant Messenger, whatever it may be, to where it's going now and where it's in the future, and people's experiences along the way. So maybe 5 to 10% from myself, but a majority of it is talking to the people who have made sports social media such a big deal, a $1 billion industry to this day.
Yeah, and the great thing about social media is it's a lot like before the athlete and the fan never really interacted, right? Now with social media, you got like somebody says something, Kevin Durant right away responds with like something like that. I mean, isn't it? I mean, it's amazing how it's changed, right? Like it's given these athletes the ability to sort of be able to touch the fans and reach out to the fans. It makes it more engaging, right?
Exactly. I think back then, maybe, 2011, 12, 13, people would see some athletes say, I'm going to Chipotle. Now that athlete has to get paid $10,000 to do that tweet for Chipotle.
Wow.
So it's just it's an interesting world we're living in these days. It didn't matter what people tweeted about because it was just like random thoughts. It was microblogging back in the day, and now it's all about monetization of social media is a big deal. So these athletes, they're trying to earn as much money as possible, not just on contracts, but off the court, off the field, and that's through social media as a new revenue where they're generating. Some athletes can generate $5-10 million a year easily off social media. Some big NBA players can. Some can only make $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. So it just depends on likability, engagement, and how big your following is at the end of the day. But yeah, it's really interesting. It's fascinating to see athletes become a big deal in the social media world, and you're going to see more and more of it in the future.
You know what I've also seen? Sports writers are becoming, right? Like Woj bombs, right? Like those are becoming big names, like huge. Like it's incredible how these sports writers have become like an entity in their own, like a following in their own, right?
I'm sure when a guy gets Woj bombed, and on social media, some NBA players probably texting another NBA player, did you see I just found out about my deal through Woj. Some guys might find out news through Woj before it even happens. I'll tell you a small story. When we're at Turner Sports, all I would have up, I'd be watching NBA TV, but I'd be watching Twitter of Woj and some of these other guys, just because they would break the news, and then all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, I'd be like, now it's on TV. Now NBA TV has the news. But I would follow these guys just for looking for that social media, and so would these directors and producers. They're looking for the news first through a guy like Woj before it gets anywhere else. So it's amazing to see the power that Woj and Shams have to this day. And, maybe Windhorst will be in the conversation somewhere there.
Adam Schefter is another one.
Schefter's a big deal. Schefter's got 3 or 4 phones, I remember, from a 60 Minutes thing. He is like he's ready on the ball for any GM, any person at all. So these guys are a big deal. I mean, when I talk to some of these sports agents that I work with currently, they will break the news to a Woj before they break it to the player. They'll say, "Hey, Woj, can you get this out?" And then they'll say to the player, check this out as well. This is where you're moving to. So Woj and Shams are a big deal in the industry, and agents and GMs and everyone in the front office want to have as close of a connection as them as possible. You give them breadcrumbs on the team side as much as possible. They don't take the whole cake and run with it. So it's a very much an interesting field to see. But Woj and Shams and Schefter and all these guys, it's a big deal to be the inner ear of the media. Those guys are breaking news left and right, especially now during free agency.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's funny that you say Schefter's got like 3 or 4 phones. 10 years ago, if somebody had 3 or 4 phones, there was something shady going on.
Yeah, there's something wrong there.
Now you need 3 or 4 phones just to stay up to date in social media. That's it's amazing how the world has changed a little bit when it comes to that. But you were mentioning a little bit about TikTok, and I see like Juju Smith-Schuster and Chase Claypool like all over TikTok. Like they're posting videos like daily. They're having a lot of fun. Obviously, they're 11-0, so they can have as much fun as they want. I don't see many Jets players on TikTok though.
It's interesting. I think TikTok's got. The algorithm is very interesting to where anyone can go on the For You page. It doesn't matter if you're, got 20 followers or got 200,000 followers. You can get on that For You page. Then your video can get seen by 50 to 1,000 people to 10 million people. Who knows? Because the platform is such amazing algorithm that you haven't seen this before, where anyone can go viral at any time and anyone can make a career off of TikTok. Honestly, these TikTok influencers.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Charlie D'Amelio's got like 100 million.
100
million, and you got like The Rock with like 7 million.
Yeah.
Like no, he's probably up there now, but it's ridiculous. Like you got like established celebrities that are, they have, he's more like a pebble than the Rock on TikTok.
And even older generations starting to use it. I mean, Howie Mandel uses it. I see stuff. I think David Hasselhoff has some stuff.
Henry Winkler just started one.
I mean, these guys are not social media aficionados and not at all, but their kids or grandkids are saying, get on TikTok. It's like cool, new, hip, and you only got to do a 10, 20, 30-second video. It's very simple. And we'll see where TikTok goes, but it's going to be here from now into the future. As long as the government doesn't ban it again. So we'll see.
We'll
and then they also got like the Triller, and then they got Reels, so I've been looking into those because obviously we got to shore up our social media presence and working on that now. But yeah, so when can we, I want to read this book.
I'm fiending to read this book.
So when can we expect to see the book?
You're going to see the book. I'm in this Georgetown writing class currently. That's really helping me with how to publish it, which publisher to choose, how to get my manuscript in the hands. But they said, and I believe it's going to be August, September next year. As long as I hit all my deadlines and I get everything right, I'm excited to publish it August, September next year. And if it goes well and I get enough purchases on it, maybe I'll have a book too. That will be a second edition of where things are headed in sports social media. But for now, August, September next year is the day.
Awesome, and we will make sure to promote it when it comes out.
That's my final one. Sorry, that's my final one for me, Aaron. Where do you see the world? Like, so we're here, social media, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, right? Where do you see it going in the next decade? Are there going to be more platforms? Are we going to find different algorithms? I mean, where do you see it? Where is it going? And how big is it going to get? Yeah,
you've got to be aware of certain things. Algorithms are going to be changing constantly. The platforms constantly will, links were cool back then. Now it's, ads, or now it's video content, whatever it may be. That's changing. So algorithms will constantly change. Platforms will change themselves. The design of them, the look at, all that stuff's going to change. The consumption habits of the audience will change. The way a 14-year-old is going to use TikTok versus how I'm going to use Instagram is totally different. It's just we consume things differently. I spend more time on Instagram, but a 14-year-old, 15, 16-year-old, whatever, sports fan might be on TikTok more often throughout the day, just swiping up and trying to see what, Chase, Claypool, and Juju's are doing, the next dance are doing. So consumption habits change, algorithms change, platforms change, and be on the lookout for athletes. As the older athletes get sort of phased out of the world, the younger athletes have grown up with social media, and they're going to become social media influencers themselves. They're going to be charging $10,000 a tweet, 5,000 Instagram posts, 8,000 for a TikTok, whatever it may be. That's going to be the future, as athletes as more of influencers. When you see guys, as you can follow some of them who shout out to Overtime, who shine a light on some of these high school players. They've got 1 million to 3 million followers before they even get to the college court. And it's amazing. So those guys are going to have their own social media presence. And then once they get to the league, they're going to have 3 to 5 million followers. And that's amazing to see, because most guys in the league 5 years ago maybe only have 50,000 followers or 20,000 followers. But nowadays, because of social media, there's a bigger audience, and essentially they're their own media outlet. So it's just cool to see what athletes are going to be doing in the future, but watch out for that. And there might be a new platform. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
You mentioned the high school kids are, coming up with, 1.3 to 2 million followers just going into college. Mm-hmm. So in your book, are you, because name, image, likeness and everything is going to be kicking in soon, are you going to have any, college athletes that are going to be monetizing? You want to have one of those in your book, or is that going to be book 2 after it's more, mainstream?
Yeah, see, that could be its own book, when it comes, in 2021, 2022, name, image, likeness, how it plays on social media. I think there's going to be a lot of scandals and stuff that's going to happen where athletes are going to get random deals, underneath the table deals, to post something on social media, and the university doesn't, and they're going to have to do compliance on these students. So I will try to have at least a chapter in there about name, image, likeness. I'm talking to some people from Influencer and Open Doors about how they proceed with what athletes do on social media, because it's going to be a big deal. It's athletes, like you said, 1 to 3 million followers before they even get to the college courts. It's amazing to see. So someone like that could be getting a big brand deal by, whoever it is, a Gatorade, a Geico, a Adidas, whatever it may be, before they even step on the court. And you got to watch out for the compliance behind that in terms of these news articles that'll come out in the future that say, well, this wasn't kosher, so why are we letting this happen or that happen? So that'll definitely be in the book. And I'm starting to interview people that really understand the subject a lot more than I do, because it's really confusing at the end of the day.
I'm fascinated by this.
If there's anything that we can do and send over some people to to help add some content to the book, by all means, we want to help you out as much as we can.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks.
I am fascinated by this conversation. I could go on another hour. This is fascinating. I love it. It's great.
I was preparing stories for you guys about Shaq and Brent Barry and but like we'll do that in part 2.
We'll do that in part 2.
Definitely going to be a part 2. Absolutely.
Random stories about I was the one that created this account called Bleacher Report Knockout, and every time an athlete comes through Bleacher Report nowadays, they play knockout. They play basketball knockout on the court, and so I started this whole account, and celebs were coming up and say, "Who's the BR knockout guy?" And that was me, and we randomly we had it. So I have a lot of stories that I'd be happy to tell in the future, but thanks for letting me plug the book. I really appreciate it.
No, absolutely.
And we'll definitely have you on again.
Yeah, if you want to come on, please, next year, we'd love to have you on again, man. I can go another hour with this. This is fascinating.
I'll send you guys both a copy of the book, and we'll see how it turns out. But I appreciate the time, and thanks for having me on again.
No problem. And if there's anybody you want to bring on, like Mike said, to help you out, please let them know.
And absolutely, the CJ and whoever else that you want to send our way, that would be amazing. And hopefully by the next time we get you on, our social media is blowing up because and we got Juju.
All the analytics.
The analytics. We got to get into that next time. I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you very much, Aaron. And you have a great night and enjoy the holidays.
Thank you so much, and have a good holidays and stay safe out there.
Likewise. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Have a good night.
Bye. I got to get that book, man.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah. We're reading that book.
Dude, I had no idea.
All right, in August and September, everyone, we're going to be reading the book on air. No, you're going to go and buy it.
But we're
not giving it free.
Think about that for a second. Like, there's they're talking about baseball analytics, how it's ruining baseball and it's whatever.
Everything is analytics.
But it's everywhere now, right? And think about that for a second. Like social media, like I thought you post a picture, right? You video, whatever. But there's like analytics behind the posting of the content as to why, whatever. Like that's incredible. Like I had no idea about that. That's fascinating. Like that it goes that in depth, like to do that stuff, And like these kids are going to be millions.
It's a whole business. It's an entire
industry in its own.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, these young kids are going to get, before they get to the college and the pros, they're going to have 1 to 3 million followers. By the time they get there, they're already going to have, like endorsements maybe, or like they're going to be already being paid to put stuff on Twitter. I think that's going to change the college game even more, where kids get paid. And then by the time they get to the pros, they're just going to have this sort of aura about themselves. It's going to be fascinating how that changes the landscape in terms of professional sports. I can't wait to talk to him again. That was awesome.
I mean, we're just getting started with this.
You think? I mean, it's been building, obviously, but
I mean, let's think about how many big social media apps are, 5?
Twitter, Instagram.
No, I'm saying 5.
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
Just listen to the number 5. I mean,
right.
You don't think in 5 years there's going to be 10 huge outlets?
Here's the thing, though, with the control that these companies have, like because let's face it, these are like, it's become a like monopoly in a sense, right?
I mean, Facebook
with Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram and all that. That's a different breed of its own, but I mean, it's
TikTok.
But I feel like Facebook is phasing out. Like the younger demographic is not really on Facebook right now.
No, well, Facebook has its issues with
Yeah, of course,
They
there's
have a
free
lot of
speech,
stuff
but
going
then
on.
Twitter
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And, but my point is, like, this is just going to keep going, and there's going to be a a new one that's going to pop up. Look, you got TikTok, and you also got Triller. That's the same thing. But if TikTok gets into any more hot water, then it's going to be Triller, and then maybe something else is going to come. Like Vine came and went.
Right.
If Vine turned into Musically turned into TikTok, and it's just things are just going to keep evolving, and technology that's just the way it is. It's going to change constantly. And I mean, look at you could buy a 70-inch TV for like $400 now.
No,
What was it?
right.
At 10 years ago, if you get
like
a $70,
$2,000. Yeah, it was like $2,500.
if that
Right.
little. I mean,
Yeah,
let's just
all right.
70-inch, like a 50-inch was $2,000 10 years
Yeah.
ago.
No, you're right.
And now you're talking 70-inch. Like you could literally have the TV that's in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium for half the price.
$1,000.
For half the price it was that when Jerry Jones went and bought it. But yeah,
But
it's just crazy how
it's amazing. But it just I was so fascinated by that the analytics part of it, like that it's so it plays such a role. Like it's playing such a role in sports, even in like corporate America today. People are
all about
more and more
numbers.
analytics, right? But not in social media, where somebody like me thinks, oh, you post a picture, a video, whatever, that there's analytics behind it is just I was like floored by that. I mean, to a guy like me, I was like, that is just like analytics is everywhere, man. We can't avoid it anymore. Like it's driving our lives.
Yeah, and and it depends on who you are, because there's some people that need that. They need to know that this many people are viewing their content, or this many people are liking their content, and that's where it gets a little slippery slope. We're older and we know how to, we know what the real world was like without social media. So, there's, I mean, I watched The Social Dilemma and it scared the hell out of me, but because I'm a parent,
of course,
it scared the hell out of me. But
what's also fascinating about what you just said?
That they're actually having social media classes in high schools and colleges, and that's just mind blowing.
Yeah, and what's fascinating? What you just said, you're right. We've lived in two different worlds: pre-social media, pre-cell phone, right? Computer, whatever, and now the post world where you can't put your phone down, like you're hanging on every tweet, like it's like I don't know, man, it's out of this world to me. It's like
everybody hit the like button if you know what a pager is.
Yes, if you know what a beeper is.
You know what? Comment and retweet if you know what a payphone is.
Yeah.
Or if you've ever used a payphone.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's ancient history at this point in time.
But I'm excited to read this book because it's the first of its kind, right? Talking about like
sports, social media,
right? Talking about social media, where it's and how it's influenced and everything, and we got to get him back on because I want to hear these stories about these athletes, but I want to hear more about like where it's going and stuff like that. So we've had 40 interviews, not for nothing. That was like the most fascinating one that and no disrespect to anybody who's come on our show, but I'm fascinated by that. That has got me hooked, line, and sinker.
I mean, hey, 40, 40 is a magic number, right?
Yeah.
So,
thank you, Aaron, for coming on. Please come back again, man. We can do this anytime.
It was an absolute pleasure having him on. And we're definitely going to have him on again. So, picks. You got your book out?
You know what? I don't have my phone here, but
all right. Okay.
Let me go to a site that I go to here. Let me go to FanDuel. There we go. All right. Picks for week 13.
All right. So,
and this segment of the show is brought to you by playthefielddating.com. If you're looking for a mate, start a softball league, or just want to get together with some friends and talk some sports, go to Play the Field Dating now. Sign up, join the sports community. Or if you're looking for that special person, find your mate or MVP on playthefielddatingnow.com.
All right. Yes. Please go and join playthefielddating.com. While we're in beta, it's 100% free, and you get extra in-app bubblegum in-app currency that you can trade in for premium features when the version 1 is live. So sign up now, share it with your friends, and you'll get even more. All right. So I mean, this is a good game. You know, it has division implications. The Los Angeles Rams are visiting the Arizona Cardinals, and the Cardinals are a home dog by 2.5 points. Kyler Murray is, been, questionable. He missed a couple practice, but he practiced today. The Rams.
Are you sure that's you got the right game there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong team. You're right. You got it. Okay.
Okay. Are you looking at the St. Louis Cardinals?
No, I was looking at something completely wrong. Go ahead. Yeah. So we got the Rams. Yep.
The Rams. The Rams lost last week, correct? Well, Cardinals lost.
I think.
What was it?
I don't remember. Hold on. Take a look here.
Hold on. The Rams lost, and they didn't.
Did they play?
Did they play the Bucs on Monday?
No, was it the Rams that put the Bucs? Let's see. I'll tell you right now.
Oh no, the Rams lost to the Niners.
Yes, it was the Niners. The Niners
at home.
At home.
But they're favored in this game.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals lost to the Patriots in New England. Correct. So both reeling. I think if Kyler Murray plays, I like the Cardinals as a home dog.
I got to think that the Rams are going to come back and win this game.
it's 2.5. So yeah, I mean, really, whoever wins it's going to.
I like the Rams to cover.
Yeah,
-3. I like the Rams to cover -3.
Okay,
I really do. I believe in the Rams again if Kyler plays, but I just like the Rams. Aaron Donald's playing on another level right now, and coming off that tough loss against San Francisco last week, they got a bad taste in their mouth. And I like the Rams to cover on this one.
Okay. A lot of big spreads this week.
Yeah.
A lot of mismatches.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Rams are one game back from Seattle in the standings, so this is a big game for them.
Minnesota is favored by 10 against Jacksonville.
I saw that. I have to disagree. I can't. Look, as bad as Jacksonville is, and they're bad, that's Kirk Cousins quarterbacking over there, man. I'm taking the Jaguars plus 10.5 on this one.
Yeah.
I don't care where that game is played. I don't care if it's in Minnesota. I don't.
Yeah,
they're not covering that.
10 points is a lot. 10 points is a lot. And the Jaguars, what they lose by? 6 to the Browns last week.
Yeah, that was in. That game was in
Jacksonville.
Yeah. I mean, look, this game is. I don't see this being 10.5. I just don't trust Kirk Cousins.
Do you think Jacksonville can win?
I hope they win for my selfish reasons.
I know. I know that.
But I don't know if they're going to win. But I think they're covered 10.5.
Yeah. Let's touch on. Nah. They're done. I don't want to touch on them.
I know a game I want to touch on.
Oh, I found one. Is it the same one that you want to?
Well, it depends.
Let's see. You pick it.
All right. The game that I want to talk about here is Buffalo at San Francisco. This one's
Buffalo at Arizona.
I'm sorry, Arizona.
Why? San Francisco. No. They're playing San Francisco, but they're playing in Arizona.
Arizona, right? Yes, correct.
Yes.
This is on the 7th. This is a Monday night game. This is a Monday night game? No, the 7th.
This is a Monday night game. Yeah.
This is a Monday night game.
Mm-hmm.
This game is it's almost like a neutral site field, like a Super Bowl field.
Mm-hmm.
And Buffalo just came off of beating the Chargers. They're traveling across country. San Francisco just got a big win. I'm gonna go out on the limb here and take San Francisco -1 for this one.
It's a 1-point spread.
I got them at -1. Where I'm watching it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is Garoppolo back? I know he was like.
I thought it was Nick
coming back.
I thought it was Mullins last week.
It's a 1-point spread.
It's a 1-point spread.
I did not see that coming.
And here's the thing, right? They're not playing in Santa Clara with the whole COVID thing.
No,
They're in Arizona. It's a neutral site. I mean, I'm taking the Niners -1. They're angry. They just came off a big win. They got to move. That's a team with a chip on their shoulder right now.
I'm like mind boggled that it's so close of a spread, to be completely honest with you. But then again, Buffalo Bills are going back to the scene of the crime of the wonderful Hail Murray.
Yep.
And DeAndre Hopkins. So maybe they got some ghosts that they're going to have to work through.
Could be.
I think that the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game.
Wow. Okay.
I cannot see the Niners beating the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills want to put their foot on the gas and get this AFC East lined up, especially with, the Miami Dolphins going up and getting an 11.5-point favorite against the Cincinnati Bengals at home with no Joe Burrow. Miami is pretty much a lock to win that game.
Yeah.
So the Bills need to figure out how to get past this game, because next week, I believe it's next week, they play the Steelers.
Yeah, they got a rough schedule ahead.
So, they want to get that AFC East, and they have to beat the Niners if they're going to get there. And it's too much on the line. San Francisco, obviously, they want to show that they're not completely inept and have some kind of
but they got some guys back.
Something.
I mean,
I know.
They got some guys back. They're starting to get a little healthy.
A lot of their defense is still out.
Yeah.
But if Buffalo loses this game, it's detrimental to their season in finishing in first place. So they're gonna pull out all the stops. They're gonna go back to the scene of the crime. And they're going to make sure that they can come out victorious. They don't want Nick Mullins throwing a Hail Mary.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine that?
And by the way, this past week, another freaking Hail Mary.
I saw that.
Caught at the 5-yard line. They can't guard against Hail Mary.
They can't guard against the Hail Mary, man. I mean, that was Justin Herbert just throwing rockets down there. It was incredible. All right, game 4 here. We'll go with the two locals for us.
Yep.
We'll start with the Giants at the Seahawks. 4:05 start. The Seahawks are favored -10. I'm going to go right now. I have a little more faith in the Giants not to get killed. Well, it depends. Is Daniel Jones going to play? No. Is Colt McCoy?
His MRI showed, serious stuff, and he was not seen at practice, last I heard. So I think it's Colt McCoy.
All right, Seattle -10. That's pretty much that's
Seattle.
It. That was pretty easy.
Yeah, I got that one too. All right. Well,
the final one,
the stinking Raiders stink. I mean, they almost beat the Chiefs, swept the Chiefs, and then all of a sudden they got they lose like 45-3 against the Falcons in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a tough game, them traveling across country, but the Jets beat the Raiders last year 35-3 and sent the Raiders on a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah.
I can't, and John Gruden could not have taken that nicely. And
nope,
he's going to be out for blood. That's my prediction. It's an 8.5-point spread at MetLife Stadium. No fans, just like it is in Vegas.
Yep.
There
you go. That's all right. Hey, listen, this is live TV, folks. This is what happens here on the Fan Experience Podcast.
All right. So I'm taking the Jets at +8.5.
All right.
Because I don't feel comfortable of the Jets actually losing this game.
Yeah, I feel comfortable with them losing this game. They're going to lose the game. Adam Gase is the coach. Sam Darnold's the quarterback. He has not thrown a touchdown.
All right. They're not winning.
He hasn't thrown a touchdown in God knows.
They're not winning the game. All right, I get it.
He can't move the ball. He's lost his confidence. I don't care what happened last year. Robbie Anderson's not on the field this year. This team is shot. Alex Lewis got into a fight with Adam Gase earlier in the week. He got benched. He didn't play. I think they deactivated him or whatever's going on over there. I mean, it is a mess in Florham Park, an absolute mess. Frank Gore is going to get 30 carries again. You can't sit there and really think that the Raiders, after getting their ass whooped in Atlanta, are going to come to MetLife and get their ass beat again like that. That's not going to happen. They're going to destroy the Jets. Sam Darnold might get killed, God forbid. And they're going to lose. They're going to lose this game. And then, the Jets, they're going to ride out Adam Gase till January 3rd when they fire him, and they better fire him, because if you're Trevor Lawrence and you're coming out and this guy's going to be the coach after what he said in that press conference earlier, what was it, today or yesterday, where he said, I haven't done a good job of coaching Sam Darnold. Yeah, no shit, you haven't done a good job of coaching Sam Darnold. You've been awful. You suck. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry, just one of my rants. Just me. The guy's brutal. The whole coaching staff is brutal. Just ride it out. Get him out of there. But as far as the Raiders go, I see Gruden lighting a fire under their asses, and the Raiders are going to win this game. Comfortably. They're going to win this game.
Yeah.
Because if the Jets win, I'm going for a walk. If they win, if find a way to blow Trevor Lawrence, that pick, if they find a way to do that, I'm walking, Mike, and I'm just walking.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you kind of sold me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm 100% sold, because these are the games that the Jets just we don't want them to win, and they're gonna win it.
No, I mean, look, I'm a diehard. I love the Jets. I bleed gangrene. I sit here like every other diehard Jet fan.
Frank Gore does not want to go down.
Listen, Frank, I'm sorry. Sign a contract next year with somebody, get one win and retire. Do that. But no, don't start with that. I don't want to hear that. Don't start with that. Let the defeated coach, who's dead man walking, let him call the plays as Daryl Loggins calls the plays, then he relays them, but it depends on the situation. Like, come on, man. It's just an absolute shit show over there. Excuse my language, folks. I know it's a family show. It's a disaster. Let the just train fall off the tracks. Let the plane hit the mountain. Let's just end the 0-16, draft Trevor Lawrence, and away we go. Get a real coach in here, and away we go.
And not for nothing, during the broadcast last week, they were like making it a big deal that this is the first time Sam Darnold's had all his playmakers and his receivers and his tight ends. And what'd they get? 3 points?
3 points.
Yeah. So he had every single one of his weapons that he hasn't had all season, and they got 3 points.
Yeah. And for those of you who are saying let Joe Flacco play, no, because Joe Flacco's put up points. You don't want Joe Flacco playing. We don't need Joe Flacco playing. I don't want to see Joe Flacco because he gives us the best chance to win, believe it or not. Leave Sammy in there in his shot confidence. Let him score their 3 points, and away we go.
Yes, and then no need to wait to see what you have in Sam Darnold.
There's no need to wait. Sam, nice kid, good family. Your time here is done. Revitalize your career somewhere else. God bless you. Trevor Lawrence is the man. Bring him in.
Yeah. All right.
With that said,
yes, it's another one of our longer shows, but we were wrapped up in that great interview.
That was a fascinating interview. Yeah.
And but we will be right back here again Tuesday. Hopefully week 13 will be I'm sorry. Week 13 will not be over when we get back, because there are going to be 2 Tuesday games. Yes. So we'll be there to cover at least one of those. So we will see you Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, and we'd like to thank our guest, Aaron Eisman, for coming on tonight. Thank you, Aaron, for joining us. Folks, enjoy the games this weekend. Root for your teams hard. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we look forward to seeing you Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. for episode 41 of the Fan Experience Podcast. And in the meantime, go to playthefielddating.com. Find your MVP. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Please share, retweet, spread the word. We want and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Oh yeah, give us a shout out.
Thank you very much.
Peace.
Have a good night.
Do you want to meet other sports enthusiasts like yourself? Playing the Field can help you connect with people who love sports as much as you do. For friendship or romance. You can showcase up to 5 of your favorite teams on your profile trading card to make it easier to find fellow sports fans. Now you can talk about sports, go to the games, or play sports with others who share your interests. Find out more at playthefieldnow.com.